was Francis William Cawley. My highest rank was E4, Petty Officer, 3rd class. Well, there's all kinds of dangers on the flight deck. The jet intakes, propellered planes at that time, the jet intakes, you have to, and that's part of that training you get with being a blue shirt. The blue shirt guys, with knowing how to chalk and, chain the plane to the deck that help the, guys from the squadron get their jobs doing right. You have an awful lot of learning to do. There was a lot of injuries, and I can tell a quick story about, there was, when we were in, still in Florida and Virginia, and we were doing our trainings, you get to meet some of the pilots that were flying in Vietnam later with us. And, they say hi and you say hi, and you meet each other. And there was a Lieutenant John Cabral as an example. John Cabral was a lieutenant that flew A-7s. It's a single pilot craft. It was one of the big ones being used in the Navy at that time. And we went all through the training, me, Mayan, and he in his own, with the flying and landing on an aircraft carrier and the dangers of that. Missing the hook, the things that have to be learned by the pilot and the stuff that has to be learned by the deck crew. It's mostly for the deck crew, it's the safety of that plane and that pilot. This man, John Cabral, we found out that we were both, I lived in Boston, he lived outside of Boston. He went to Boston College, I went to a junior college for my start in, and really realizing that my mom and dad didn't have the money to put me through college. I had 5 brothers and sisters still, and we got to talking about it. And when I was in high school, I played some hockey, and we used to go to the Boston College ice skating rink to play our games. And he told me he graduated from Boston College. I said, we're almost like brothers. And he laughed, and we saw each other through his training and his time to get ready through Vietnam. I came upon him one day after chow in the morning in Vietnam. There are parts of a flight deck in most Navy ships where it's officer country, and enlisted people are supposed to stay out of that. And I was coming from the mess hall going to the flight deck, and we were up in North Vietnam at this time. And Lieutenant Cabral and I met eyes, and he goes, Frank, come on, and he called me over, and he said, come with me, and he took me up through the officers' area to the shortcuts he had to the flight deck, so I wouldn't have to go up on the deck. I'll count all the decks and go up on the enlisted side. I said, sir, I'm not an officer, I'm not supposed to be there. He said, you're with me, come on. So we did, and he took me up, and we talked going up. I rode the escalator. I didn't even know there was an escalator in an aircraft carrier. And he laughed. He said, well, yeah, we have a few things you don't have, he said. And we were talking, and he ended up getting in his plane. And at one point, I was in training at that time still. And I saw him, and he said, okay, he was headed to his plane. I said, have a good trip. He said, okay, see you when I get back. But unfortunately, John didn't come back. And